Cinderella did. If you're in your 20s or 30s and still feel lost, just look at the 40-year-olds who walk in with calm confidence, who don't rush to be seen because they already know who they are. They don't chase likes, they chase legacy. Ever wondered why? What habits made them that way? Let me tell you, it's not luck, it's strategy, it's self-respect, it's something you can start today. They protect their peace like it's gold. Because it is gold. You Cinderella lady, when you've been through storms, chaos, heartbreaks, betrayals, and the kind of stress that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., with your heart racing, you begin to understand the true value of peace. Not the kind that's just the absence of noise, but the kind that comes from within. The kind that isn't shaken by what people think of you. The kind that whispers, I don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing myself. You can't buy peace at a store. And no one's going to hand it to you wrapped in a pretty little box. You earn it through boundaries, through experience, like Cinderella did, through losing people you thought you couldn't live without, only to realize you were better without them. That's why 40-aged people don't let just anyone access their energy. They've learned sometimes the loudest battles are the ones you fight inside your head. And for that, they choose their surroundings like they choose their clothes. Carefully, purposefully, with self-respect. Take this example. A 28-year-old woman is invited to 3 parties in 1 week. She goes to all of them, smiles, laughs. But when she gets home, she's drained. Her mind is heavy. Now compare that to a 42-year-old woman. She gets the same invites. But she says, no, thank you to 2. And picks one where she feels aligned. She goes in peace. Leaves in peace. Wakes up in peace. That's not arrogance. That's evolution. They don't attend arguments they weren't invited to. They don't respond to passive-aggressive text at midnight. They don't entertain gossip. They've deleted chaos from their lives like it's spam in their inbox. And that's because they understand whatever costs them peace is simply too expensive. So when the phone rings and it's that one person who always complains, who always dumps negativity, who never asks, how are you doing? They let it ring or block or mute. Not because they're rude, but because their peace is not up for negotiation. In relationships, they don't fight to prove a point. They choose silence over screaming. They don't try to change people anymore. That phase is over. If someone shows red flags, they don't color them white with hope. They walk away gracefully. Like Cinderella did, because they've lived long enough to know the wrong people don't just waste your time, they steal your peace. And peace is irreplaceable. Think of a 40-year-old man who once chased money, status, and validation in his 20s, burned out, lost relationships, almost lost himself. Now he wakes up at 6 a.m., meditates, journals, eats clean, limits social media, doesn't chase clout. He's at peace. That's the flex. Not the car, not the likes, designer labels. His mind is quiet. His heart is full. His soul isn't thirsty for attention anymore. Peace is not about escaping life. It's about mastering it. You could be in a room full of noise and still be peaceful if your spirit is uncluttered. You could be on a vacation and still be anxious if you haven't done the inner work. That's what these people have learned. Peace isn't a place. It's a decision daily, hourly, sometimes minute by minute. When someone tries to gaslight them, they don't react. When someone tests their patience, they breathe deeper. When someone mocks their stillness, they smile. Because they know not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. That's how they protect their peace, not by fighting for it, but by choosing it over and over again. They master saying no without guilt, because they lived long enough to know that every yes that goes against their truth steals a piece of their soul. In their younger years, they said yes too often, to be liked, to fit in, to avoid conflict, to not seem selfish. But life taught them a yes that dishonours your needs is far more dangerous than a no that protects your peace. They don't flinch when someone says, but I thought we were close. Or, come on, just this one time. They've outgrown the need to explain themselves. Their no is complete. It doesn't come with a long list of excuses or watered down reasons. It's said with grace, with firmness, with a calmness that says, I love myself enough to choose what's right for me. Picture this. A 31-year-old woman is asked to stay late at work again for the 4th time this week. She agrees. Again. Even though she's exhausted, even though she promised child she'd be home early. Now picture a 43-year-old version of her. Same request. She looks her boss in the eye and says, "No, I've given all I can today. I need to honor my time." That's not rebellion. That's wisdom. They've realized that guilt is often a trick played by others to control your choices. And they no longer carry the burden of being responsible for everyone else's comfort. Because Cinderella did, you can be kind and still have boundaries. You can love people deeply and still not betray yourself to keep them happy. Think of a man who spent his 20s and 30s attending every wedding, every dinner, every birthday party, even when he didn't want to. Even when it drained his finances and energy. Because he didn't want to offend anyone. Now, in his 40s, he chooses where he goes, who he sees, how he gives his time. When someone says, "You've changed," he replies, "I've grown." That's the shift. They no longer say yes just because someone might feel bad. They say no because they know the cost of self-betrayal is far worse. And they don't fear rejection anymore. If someone walks away because they said no, they let them. Because they understand, if your love or loyalty depends on me always saying yes, then it was never love to begin with. That's not loss, that's clarity. They even say no to themselves. No to staying up late to binge watch when their body needs sleep. No to gossip when their spirit craves truth. No to old habits that feel familiar but no longer fit the person they're becoming. Like Cinderella growth. That's the deeper level of growth. Not just saying no to others, but saying no to the version of you that keeps sabotaging your evolution. A friend asks them for help moving on a Saturday, their only day to rest after a chaotic week. In the past, they would have said yes, out of guilt. Now, they respond kindly. "I love you, but I need to rest. I hope you understand." And if the friend doesn't, that's okay too. Because they no longer trade authenticity for approval. Every no they speak is a yes. To something else synced to their peace, to their priorities, to their purpose. Like Cinderella did. It's not that they don't care. It's that they care enough about their own life not to be owned by everyone else's demands. That's why their life feels lighter. Because they're not carrying the weight of one Zhao's unspoken resentments. They've released the guilt, embraced the boundary, and built a life where every word they speak reflects their truth. They keep a circle that elevates, not drains. Because they've already danced with the wrong people long enough to know that energy is contagious, and not everyone deserves access to theirs. In their 20s, they mistook company for connection. They surrounded themselves with the loudest, the trendiest, the ones who clapped the hardest in public but whispered doubts in private. Cinderella did. But by 40, they've learned how to read the silent language of energy. They no longer ask, "Do they like me?" They ask, "Do they drain me?" They've walked through rooms full of people where they felt invisible. They've laughed in circles where their souls weren't heard. And that's why now they choose people who feed their mind, nurture their soul, and challenge their limits. They don't crave shallow validation anymore. They crave deep alignment, the kind of friendship where silence isn't awkward, where truth isn't sugar-coated, where growth isn't optional. It's expected. Picture a woman in her 30s who always yes to brunches with a group of so-called friends. Every Sunday, they gossiped, judged others, competed secretly. She left every meetup feeling smaller than she came. Now fast forward to her 40s. She's got two real friends. Not flashy, not loud. But those two remind her of who she is on her worst days. They hold her accountable when she slips, and they clap even harder when she wins. That's not a downgrade. That's a divine upgrade. They understand the power of saying, "I need rest," without guilt. They cancel plans if they need recovery. They skip the party to sleep. They stretch their body in silence instead of scrolling their phones for hours. They eat real food, drink real water, and take real breaks. Because they know your body is not a machine, it's a temple. And no dream is worth dying for. Think of a man who once worked 70-hour weeks, built an empire, but had a heart attack at 39. That moment changed everything. Now he wakes up with gratitude, not urgency. He walks his dog before checking emails. He goes to therapy, not just meetings. He's still building, still driven. But he's no longer sacrificing his health for goals that won't matter if he's not around to enjoy them. They see wellness as power, physical, emotional, spiritual. They go for regular checkups, they listen to their bodies, they say no to toxic patterns. They don't skip meals to meet deadlines. They don't drink to escape stress. They don't medicate emotions, they meditate through them. Because they know the most successful version of themselves is the one who's alive, energized, and grounded. Even in their friendships, they invite people into wellness. They go for hikes instead of hangovers. They choose conversations over comparison. Their idea of fun has changed. It now includes healing, rest, and growth. They laugh more, sleep better, move gently. Because being alive is more than just breathing, it's thriving, like Cinderella did. And they refuse to trade years of their life just to meet someone else's definition of success. They've learned that hustle that's your health isn't hustle, it's harm. And no dream is worth more than your ability to wake up pain-free, with energy to create, to love, to live. They've seen people collapse from the chase. And now they choose to rise with care because they know the real flex is being fit, fulfilled, and fully present for life. They no longer confuse proximity with intimacy. Because someone's been around for years doesn't mean they still belong. They've outgrown vibrate when they're stuck, but go silent when they start to rise. Because your circle is either your cage or your launch pad. And at 40, they only sit at tables where love is real, vibes are healthy, and energy flows two ways. Think about a man who once had 10 guys in his crew. They drank together, partied together, joked around. But when he hit a rough patch, divorce, business failure, 8 of them disappeared. Only 2 stayed. Those 2 showed up not with advice, but presence. Not with noise, but quiet strength. Now he walks through life with just those 2. Because real friends don't just ride in your car when things are smooth. They help you fix the engine when it breaks down. They've become intentional about who they text back, who they share dreams with, who they allow in their sacred space. Some people want to be close to you just to keep you from flying. But by 40, they've removed those weights. With love, with grace, but with finality. Not everyone from your past deserves a seat in your future. And they've made peace with that. Even in romance, they don't chase potential anymore. They align with purpose. If a partner doesn't support their vision, nourish their growth, or respect their silence, they walk. Because being alone and elevated is better than being together and diminished. They know love is not supposed to feel like walking on eggshells or shrinking to be accepted. They've learned that their circle should be a mirror of their becoming. That the people around them should speak life, not fear. That true friendship is about energy exchange, not emotional debt. If every conversation leaves them anxious, drained, or second-guessing themselves, they cut the cord, softly but surely, because they understand the truth. Who you surround yourself with isn't just about companionship, it's about direction. Your tribe either pushes you toward your higher self or pulls you back into who you were trying to escape. They prioritize health over hustle. Because by the time you've hit 40, you've seen what burnout really looks like. It's not just dark circles and skipped meals. It's missed moments with your kids. It's waking up exhausted even after hours of sleep. It's crying in the shower and still showing up to that meeting like nothing's wrong. Hustle might build the house, but health is what makes it a home. And they've realized success without wellness is just silent suffering with a fancy title. Like Cinderella, they don't glorify being booked and busy anymore. They choose balanced and breathing. When they were younger, they wore stress like a badge of honor. I worked 16 hours today used to sound impressive. It sounds dangerous. Now, peace is the new prestige, rest is the new wealth, and self-care is non-negotiable. Like Cinderella, they know they can't pour from an empty cup, so they stop apologizing for filling their own first. Picture a woman in her 20s working 3 jobs, surviving on caffeine and fast food, always chasing the next promotion. She's praised for her hustle, but her body is breaking. Her back aches, her sleep is wrecked, her smile is fake. Now picture her in her 40s. She starts her day with lemon water and yoga. She leaves her phone outside the bedroom. She walks every evening, not to burn calories, but to breathe. She no longer lives to work. She works to live. They invest in experiences, not impressions. Because by 40, they've learned the hard way that likes fade. Trends change and applause is often hollow. But a memory made with the right people, at the right moment, lives forever. They've stopped chasing curated perfection and started chasing real life magic. The kind that doesn't need filters, the kind that doesn't need to be posted to be meaningful. They no longer need to prove they're living. They're too busy actually living. In their younger years, they poured money into what would impress others. Designer clothes, expensive gadgets, flash cars. Not because they needed them, but because they needed to be seen. But now they've outgrown the performance. They don't care about looking rich. They care about feeling rich in the soul. So they spend on travel, on cooking classes, on weekend getaways with their kids. They value stories over status, memories over materials, and connection over comparison. Imagine a woman in her 30s who saved up for 6 months to buy a luxury handbag just to keep up with her circle. She posted it online, got 1,000 likes and felt important for a moment. But the high faded. The bag sat in her closet untouched while her soul remained restless. Now imagine her at 42. She spends that same money to take her parents on a trip they always dreamed of. No Instagram post. Just a sunset, laughter and gratitude. That's not spending. That's investing. That's what feeds the heart. They've realized that chasing impressions is a never-ending race. Because no matter how perfect your photo looks, someone else will post better. But no one can outdo a moment that changed your life. Cinderella did. Like watching the northern lights with someone you love. Like sitting on the floor with your child, laughing till your cheeks hurt. Like learning a new language just because you wanted to stretch your brain and your soul. These moments don't trend. They transform, they invest in experiences that shape them, not just showcase them. They attend wellness retreats, silent meditations, personal growth seminars. They spend on therapy instead of toxic cycles. They hire a coach instead of buying another outfit they don't need. Because they know impressions fade. But self-evolution is eternal. They want a life that feels good offline, not just one that looks good online. Think of a man who once spent thousands on his image. Car upgrades, luxury watches, VIP tables. Everyone clapped. But inside, he was exhausted. Now at 40, he takes that same money and builds a library for his village school. He learns to surf on vacation instead of booking the fanciest resort. He documents memories for his children, not strangers. He's not chasing validation. He's building a legacy. Even their homes reflect this shift. They invest in cozy corners, candles that calm the senses, art that speaks to their journey. They host dinner nights filled with real conversation, not stiff parties meant to impress. Their lives feel lived in and not staged because they found beauty in the imperfect, meaning in the small things, and fulfillment in being real. They've stopped trying to impress people who don't even know their real story. Now, they invest in moments that become their story. Moments that they'll remember when their hair turns gray and their steps slow down. And that's the currency they care about now. The richness of experience, not the cost of appearance. They don't collect things, they collect time. Well spent, time well loved, time that turns into soul-deep satisfaction. They accept change and reinvent with grace. Because by 40, they've seen enough to know that clinging to the old only makes you heavy. They've lived through chapters closing without warning. Jobs lost, friendships